Shalom Markings become Akapash from Jim Islam, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Chakwadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful let push news, truth, and all sincerity. Back with another video, Logan, just a quick one. Just based off this article here from Derbyshire Live. All right, going into these 15-minute cities, man, that seem to be popping up or being planned to pop up everywhere in the country. So it seems, right? They would have you believe that this is to help people have access to everything that they require within 15 minutes of their surroundings, whilst cutting down all these emissions and cutting down these carbon emissions and creating global warming change and all this madness, right? So these are meant to be good things, right? Everything is so close to you, which that would be convenient, wouldn't it? You don't have to take long ass journeys anywhere. You can just pop to the shop, pop to the clinic, pop to wherever you need to get to the supermarket, whatever, man. Yeah, it sounds great, right? Sounds great. It's living the dream, right? Sounds great. But we know, there's other reasons, other purposes for this. Okay, that these governments and these councils and whatever, they're being told to do this, right? But we know there's other other uses, or the main purpose for it is of a different matter. I'm gonna get into that in a second because I just want to read this title here. It says our journey time monitoring cameras in Derby linked to 15-minute city idea, and this is raised by a concerned YouTuber, right, about the cameras, implying that they were linked to a controversial concept dubbed 15-minute cities, right? And like I said, they're popping up everywhere. Councils and boroughs, they all different smaller cities or whatever, they were talking about these 15-minute cities, okay, where essentially what it is them restricting the use of cars. I'm assuming petrol and diesel cars, but they're going to phase them out anyway. So no, it's not even, when you really think about it, it's not nothing to do with petrol and diesel cars, because they're meant to be phased out by was it 2030, something like that, or the sale of new diesel and electric cars, petrol cars. But anyhow, right? They don't want cars rolling around everywhere, right? Because it's harming the environment, right? So they want everything in close vicinity, so you don't have to use your car. Maybe use public transport or whatever. Basically, they want to control your movement, essentially, or how you move, right? Your freedom of movement, right? Because there's fines involved if you go outside your zones, your sectors, or whatever, man. If you want to go into a different part of the city now, quadrant, how many we're splitting into, whether it's 6, 8, whatever. So yeah, there's fines involved, so they're gonna make money off you, if you don't want to comply, right? But basically, it's gonna force people to get rid of their cars or whatever, so you can't really move around how you usually move around, and you got no reason to move anywhere, right? Because everything should be in your vicinity. They'd be like, why are you going here? You don't need to be here, But let's just have a look at this quickly. So Derby City Council has explained the purpose, right? So because this is what they say, this is what the truth has to be, right? They can't be lying or nothing, right? They don't lie. People don't lie. Councils and governments, they don't lie, right? They're fact checked, right? So they get the blue tick, they get the verification online, these fact checking websites, because they said, this is what they said, so it must be true, right? Like I said, these people don't lie, whatever. All right, it says Derby City Council has explained the purpose of almost 30 road cameras in the city after YouTube queried their presence. The City Council has confirmed that 27 automatic number plate recognition cameras have been installed across 12 sites in the city. The cameras were installed after Derby was identified by the government as one of 5 locations where air quality could be improved. All right, so the reason why they're doing this is all based on this air quality and pollution and all that kind of stuff. This is their excuse of doing these things, right? The cameras are monitoring how vehicles travel around the city, their journey times, and how those journey times impact air quality. So, there's the premise, right? Until they decide, you know what, we're going to get rid of the vehicles. They ain't going to be able to travel here, there, if they come from a certain location. You know. So the cameras which were installed last year are not being used for enforcement purposes, the council has made clear. As of now. Right. A statement from Derby City Council said the Derby City Council installed 27 automatic cameras, blah, 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 across 12 sites in the city last September as part of the roadside NL2 scheme, part of the government's wider clean air strategy. So these things are being put in place by the government and these councils are being used to implement them in the different places, right? Certain cities. All right, so these will be reviewed in 2026 in line with government guidance. Blah, 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 blah. So that's what they do in Derbyshire. Like I said, there's other cities that are doing this. I think Oxfordshire, Canterbury, I think a bunch of other places, right? Well, I typed in 15-minute city, right, and this is the first thing that comes up. Because I just wanted an explanation, but I thought it was funny, right? Because all these articles that come up here are talking about conspiracy theories. Right, the 15-minute city where urban planning meets conspiracy theories. Right, this is just simple urban planning, right? It isn't going to do anything that these conspiracies think of. So these so-called conspiracy people think of, right? They ain't going to do none of those things that they think, right? Why did the 15-minute there's no premise for it also, no? Why did the 15-minute city become such a hot conspiracy theory? 15-minute city hysteria. Rome's battle with bad parking, blah, blah, blah. How did the 15-minute city get tangled up in a far-right conspiracy? They really don't want you to believe in the idea that, there's a ulterior motive with these 15-minute cities. It's meant to be purely for your convenience. It's meant to stop, to save the planet, right? To stop the children dying of pollution and whatever. That's why they're doing it. And like I said, there's no other reasons, so they say, right? Because we're meant to just accept and believe everything that these people in power say, even though they're, what do you call it, man? Pathological liars, man. Right? Man, are professional liars. They're lying all the time, and yet, they don't want you to believe that these could be used in a negative way to affect the people. Although we've seen it in the past, that people can lock you out of places, if there's a pandemic, for instance, right? Or whatever reason that they want to push, right? They are, they have the ability to do these things that, I guess these people are talking about. Like, so I don't know what these conspiracy people are saying. I don't know. I ain't read none of it. I don't know what they're saying. But all I'm saying is that all these types of things are in the scriptures. Right? These things are in the scriptures. So let me just read. I think this. Right? What is the 15-minute city theory? Right? The 15-minute city concept is an urban planning model that aims to reduce car dependency. Right? And all you got to do is think about what the WEF are talking about. You own nothing, blah, 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 blah. They don't want you to own cars. Right? But they're going to own all the cars, though, by the way. And private planes and whatever. They're going to have all of that. But you're not going to own that, right? because they're going to look after us, apparently, right? So that aims to reduce car dependency by making walking, cycling, and scootering easier. Making that easier by making driving super difficult. Yeah. No city plans to ban cars entirely. Well, I never used the word ban. They're just gonna make it super difficult, man. They're gonna charge you all kinds of fucking taxes and levies and fines, and that you just ain't gonna want to own a car. It's not it's not financially viable anymore. It doesn't make any sense anymore. You know, that's how the majority is gonna go because people can't afford to fucking drive cars no more. You know, can't afford to buy new cars no more. Can't afford to run cars no more because everything is together. Like everything that's happening is collectively gonna do these things. People focus on individual plans or whatever, but everything that's going on Earth right now is, adding to, the NWO, and how it's gonna affect everybody. Okay, it ain't just one individual thing. These smart cities, they're not separate things. Okay, they're all part of the bigger picture, right? So no city plans to ban cars entirely, although many restrict car usage for clean air and safety reasons. All right, let me just open this up. Come off. Yeah, they don't really want you to believe in it all, man. So some portray 50-minute city concept as dystopian nightmare where cars will be eliminated. This is good for YouTube clicks, but false, right? The city of proximities. Living within easy walking distance of shops, cafes, schools, theatres, and workplaces is not the climate lockdown ghetto that controversialists say is. But they managed to do it without all these cities. They still locked down the city without there being all this other stuff. So if they could do it with a bigger space, why wouldn't they be able to do it with a smaller space? It's a return to greener, more local way of life. The 50-minute city is not being imposed on Oxford, England, or Canada's Edmonton, or anywhere else by the arch capital World Economic Forum, nor despite that one Tory backbencher claimed in the British Parliament recently, it is an international socialist concept. Like he's saying, the fact that they've already been installing these types of things for years now, with in here in London, the congestion charge and that, it is more restricted. It is more annoying. Okay, you are being controlled and managed a lot more than you ever used to be. So why is it that introducing more of this is going to make things better? It's just it's fucking ridiculous. Like, go on, you see that, man, you're gonna get vexed, man. Let's be honest. You see them blockades in your road. You're gonna feel restricted, man. You're gonna feel like you're being suffocated, man. But anyway, I'm tired of talking anyway. Let me just grab scriptures, right? Because it's here in the scriptures. Like, these people don't want you to believe in, these things, right? But it's all written here as part of end times prophecy. That's why these things are coming about. It ain't because of, climate change. Esau wants to restrict your movements, right? That's what he wants to do, and it's all written here, right? So, this 2 Ezra chapter 15. I'm going to read from the 14th verse here, right? It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their actions shall stand in their power." Right? Because they're talking like, this whole place ain't going to fall apart, man, and collapse, right? That they ain't going to put measures in place when that happens, They make it sound like, oh yeah, things are just going to be normal, like, fine. They're not talking about it when, if there's like a pandemic or something like that, or something crazy happens, cyber attack, famine. they're not gonna talk about how they're gonna use these 15-minute cities in those sorts of situations, man. Of course, they're gonna give you the PG version of, you know, when nothing's happening. You know, while we're implementing it under your noses, while you're being, you know, lulled into thinking that this is going to be beneficial. You know, they're not going to talk about the other the other instances, right? This is a verse saying, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So you ain't going in, you ain't going out. You are not permitted to go in or out. You don't have the facilities to go in and out because you ain't got a car no more. You know, it's too expensive. Don't make no sense. You know, you can't leave or come into certain areas. That's what they're doing. You say that you can't drive, you can't go into certain areas. If you do, you're gonna get fined. You know, so it's here in the scriptures that this, and like I said, this already happened during the pandemic. You couldn't leave, right? You couldn't leave and go other places. You know, if they caught you, they'd fine you. That's why, you know, the PMs that were breaking their own laws, or, you know, whatever, because they were traveling across the fucking country when they weren't meant to be. So it's something that you create in a smaller area. It's easier to manage. It's easier to manage. It's hard to manage a whole country like that, you know. But you know, you condense things and you stop people moving out of these specific areas. It's easier to manage, right? That is how it would be used. Okay, when all hell breaks loose, man. Okay, and again, that's not the part they're going to talk to, because they know that's, you know, that's what's about to happen. You know, the collapse of this place, right? And they know how they intend to use these 15-minute cities in that instance. Okay, but they're not going to talk about that because they don't want to worry you, right? They want you to believe in the program and how great it's going to be for everybody. Oops. You know, that's what they want you to focus on. All right. So because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right? The cities are going to be troubled, man. Because they're going to be stuck. They're going to be stuck in there. They're going to be trapped like fucking rats. Right? I might name it that, you know, name the video of this, man. Trapped like rats. That's what you're being trapped like rats, man. You know? Baro Carabao, you know, he was speaking on this the other day. You know, about being trapped in these cities. These cities are going to be a terrible place, man. Right? Because realistically, man, there ain't enough resources for everybody, because these cities are super condensed. There ain't enough resources for people, man. Food, water, medication, all of that, man. Right? These people are going to be fighting one another. We're reading it, right? Verse 16 again, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings or princes. They're going to go wild here, man. You know, because they're going to be trapped. And you know, I mean, I can't remember what movie this is from. It's been used in other movies, I believe, as well. It's a known thing, right? But if you trap a rat, right, in a box or something, and, you know, I think the description was, you know, they put a rat on someone's stomach, right, and kept them trapped in the box, right, and the rat could only go one way, right, the soft part, right, which is the guy's belly, is, you know, used as some sort of torture or death technique, right. It can only go one way, man, and it's going to use violence to go through the softer part to get out, right? And so violence, man, and bloodshed is going to occur in these cities, man, invading one another, because the rats are going to be desperate. You know, when society collapses, man, that is the last place you're probably going to want to be, man. Yeah, right? Because these people are going to lose their damn fucking minds, because they're going to be trapped in these little 15-minute cities, right, with no way of getting out. All right. Verse 18 again says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, that's what's coming to the world. All right, and like I said, these 15-minute cities and whatever, that's all here. It's all part of the end times. It's 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. That Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant of the plans and his schemes that he's putting in place. Because if you was to believe like everything that he said, like he ain't never done nothing wrong to harm anybody, right? Everything was for the good of the people. That's all they care about, the good of the people. But we know that's not the truth. We know governments do things against their people, man. Okay, but they're making us believe that everything that they're doing, all these tabloids and stuff like that, they're just doing things for our benefits, man. I mean, it's just, just to be quiet, basically, and let them do it. Because we're just crazy. We're just untrusting. We're suspicious all the damn time, and you're just being out. You're being out of order, essentially. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you being so distrusting? We said that it's to help you, not to harm you. So, if you ain't gonna use it against you in any way, okay. Oh, okay, that makes you feel better. So of course he ain't gonna tell you, yeah, this is what we're gonna do when this goes down, and of course he's gonna sell you it, man. He's gonna sell you all the benefits and the perks of it. He'll never tell you anything bad about it. There's no cons. There's no cons. Even though there's pros and cons to everything, there's no cons. There's no downsides to this. Everything's gonna be gravy. Revelations 13 and 16, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand on their foreheads, right? So this all plays a part in Esau's control and the implementation of the mark of the beast, right? Like I said, I mentioned these smart cities, right? You're gonna be connected into these smart cities, right? You're gonna be monitored and tracked and traced by fucking lampposts and pavements and other cars, whatever, man. Right? You're going to be monitored all the time. So they're going to know when you're coming in and out of a zone that you're not meant to be in. Or why are you doing here? Why have you come all the way over to here? You got to shop over where you are. Why are you over here? Seems suspicious. Getting treated like criminals, man. Like I said, just pricing you out of convenience or being able to drive your car wherever you want to drive. Because you're damaging the planet. But here, Mr. Gates, he can take private planes everywhere because he's rich. So yeah, this is all part of the system, the system of the beast that's being set up, right? And this is, like I said, these little 15-minute cities is part of that, to control people, right? To have you monitored. So verse 13, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, right? Because like I said, the collapse is coming, man. And this whole system that, as you know it, man, is going to be changed. Okay, flipped over to a new system with digital currencies. Okay, programmable money. So you might not be able to take, your credits, that you're given outside your zone. You might not be able to spend it in another zone. That's the technology that's there and that can be used. And it can be used like that. Okay, but they're making it sound like they don't plan on doing anything like that. Even though in the past there has been times where they've done things like this. Okay, they hope you don't remember. Days of rationing cards and things like that. they hope you don't remember, man. Passports and whatever. They don't. They're trying to take advantage of your ignorance, man. It's Isaiah 14 and 13. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend it into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also on the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Okay, that's what Esau's ambition is, to be like the Most High, to be able to control, track, and monitor everything everybody's doing. Right? He's gonna tell where people are allowed to be, what they're allowed to use, what they can't use, what they can eat, what they can't eat. You know, how many children you can have. You know, all this stuff. He wants to control all of this. It's all these schemes and these plans that the governments are introducing, man, are all part of the, you know, the elites of Esau, right? Putting control measures in, putting stricter control measures in, right? Which is going to get crowned off with the you know, the MOTB. Once you take that, man, you're fully assimilated into that system. You know. It's Psalms chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Right? So he's not going to, you know, outline the potential uses for control and, you know, tyranny. He ain't going to do that. Why would he? You know? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Right? So we're helping you, helping the people, making life more convenient. You don't need a car anymore. You know? Tackle obesity and all this stuff, right? Right? Yeah, which is true. It's not that he's completely lying. You know, things would be more convenient if everything was 15 minutes away from you. Of course, it would encourage people to do more exercise rather than drive over it. Yes, it would be taking in less pollution in your body. Yeah, that is true. That is true. He is partly telling the truth in the matter. But what he's lying about is why he wants to implement these things. It ain't because he wants to help you lose weight. It ain't because he cares about the health of the planet. He don't care about none of that shit. Where these elites are, man, it don't, man, are in their own private spaces, man, eating all the best types of food that you know the Earth can produce at this moment in time. Okay, where you're getting GMOs and crap, you know, high processed foods and stuff, right? They just living completely different, man. They don't care, you know, and that you know, as you see it in these movies like Elysium. Man, I'm living different, man. You can suffer here. You can deal with the problems and the bullshit because you're poor. Esau don't care about none of that stuff, right? The reason why he's implementing it because he has an agenda that he wants to fulfill, that he is not, you know, putting out there in the open for everybody else to hear and know. Okay, that, you know, these scriptures are privy to, and that the men of the Lord are privy to, right? Because he wants his NWO. That's his agenda, right? But he has to sell it to you that it's for you. He's building everything for you, for your benefit. It ain't nothing to do with him. Like, it's not for his benefit. It's for you. It's for the people because he cares so much. Okay, but that is the lie. That is the lie, right? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay, it's not for you. It's not for your benefit. Right? But, you know, you say these things and that's a conspiracy theory because you can't fact check that, because there's no article out there. They've never come out and said, oh yeah, that's what we're going to do with it. Why the hell would they? Why the hell would they say that? Of course there's going to be no evidence, man. If they're lying to you, they're lying to you, man. They don't want to tell you the truth. So what evidence are you know, do you want to find or do you expect to find? Oh, but he did a press conference and he said this. So these people are fucking liars, man. The enemy is a liar. Esau is a liar. He ain't gonna tell you the whole truth. He ain't gonna tell you the whole truth, man. And so there isn't gonna be no evidence of what he's plotting, because they're in cahoots. None of them are talking about it. You know what I'm saying? But they all know, they're all on the same page. When they have those meetings that you can't go into, right? The Bilderbergs and all this kind of stuff. When they have these discussions, you can't be there to verify nothing because it's closed doors. They all know, but you don't know. When they come out and do the press conference afterwards, they'll say what they want to say to you that you write in your articles, and that'll be the sources of your fact checking. But it was all lies. Well, not all lies, but based on lies, right? Of course, there ain't no other type of evidence. That's why these fact checking these things don't mean shit. Or verified. What the fuck does that mean? By who? But like I said, they're part of they own information, man. They own the information, control the information that's out there, and if you speak against it, you're a crazy person. If you're talking like you feel like you got some insight to what they're really doing because there's no evidence to prove, you're a crazy person. And that may be true if you don't have any type of evidence whatsoever, but we know these scriptures speak about these types of things, so we know we're backed up by something greater than these stupid fucking fact checkers, because the scriptures say that this is what it's going to be like in the end times. But we're just crazy because we're just crazy religious nuts. So it's just a book, a religious book that doesn't mean nothing in this world today. You're gonna find out, man. Okay, all these things that we've been speaking about are gonna come to pass. They're gonna come to pass, man, and these people are gonna be feeling real sorry for themselves, man, when they find themselves effed, trapped, having to take C-hips inside their body. When they're getting fed digital currencies onto the C-hip. Yeah, when they're being rationed, food and water, medication or whatever. Okay, you're gonna start feeling sorry for yourself, man. Like look where we are now. You didn't think you're gonna be there, did you? Okay, but we've known this and seen this afar off, man. The Lord will open our minds to these things. All right, so we're not going to fall into the same trap as you. Right, I'm going to close up with this. It's Sirach chapter 12. I'm going to read from here, right? Verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, right? You can't trust an enemy, as when you read that, right? You can't trust an enemy, right? Of course, he's going to speak sweetly with his lips to get his way, right? To deceive you. So, but in his heart, he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. So all this smiling and being helpful Henry, you know what I'm saying? That whole persona is gonna disappear. Right, and you're going to see what it was really all about to begin with. Right? This place is going to, is becoming more and more draconian. Right? And don't think for a second that Esau's not going to use all these things he's put in place to his advantage, okay, when the time comes. All these legislations and, executive orders and private bills that have been passed under people's noses, like didn't know it existed. Okay, they're all going to get implemented. They weren't put there for no reason. They weren't passed for no reason. They will be used. Esau will use them when the time is right. And you people are going to be bawling, man. You're going to be crying because you didn't think it could be this. You could get like this. You didn't think that day was going to fucking come, man. But the day is coming. Okay, judgment is at hand, man. And everything that's written in the scriptures is going to come to pass, man. Okay, you can call us conspiracy theorists, crazy people. You can call us what the fuck you want to call us, man. Okay, they ain't going to change the fact that you're going to end up finding yourself in a fucking concentration camp somewhere at some point. Or dead. Or any of these other things that we talk about. Getting implanted or whatever. Right? You are going to find yourselves in these very situations that we speak about. And no amount of not believing is going to stop that. All right. I know I said this was supposed to be a quick one. Wow, I'm in a mood today, bro. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm just pissed off, I guess. Man's on an event today. But I'm gonna end it there. And Yeah, I'll catch you brothers and sisters in the next video, man. So till next time, I say shalom.